Okay, try this again. Alright. Sorry about that. I had some issues with the last stream. I broke one of the windows. Didn't want to work. I think things are working much better now. Let's see if I make this a little bit bigger. No, it's fine. Okay, so I wanted to talk about test-driven development with Dojo. All right. If you haven't seen me stream for a couple of weeks or so, getting over a cold, nothing bad, just a little cold, and been playing a lot of Diablo 3. The new season started a couple weeks ago. That's kind of where I've been. Don't stream that. I don't think anybody really cares about me playing Diablo 3. There's plenty of better Twitch people doing that than me. But I do want to talk about some code. Alright, so I am by far not a very good test-driven development writer, but I do try to write my test. I work on them, do what I gotta do. They have value. They definitely have a lot of value. Funny thing, I learned TDD on Java with JUnit and stuff, and it was cool. I got some really cool books from it. Did some really cool stuff with it. You learn a lot, and so I've picked up a few things over the years, like a lot of people, but no big. So what's really cool with Dojo is that when you install an app with the CLI, you get the template going, is it provides a test for you for the widgets that are part of the app. And the app itself, it has some pretty cool stuff. So you want to look at the doc for Dojo, go to Dojo.io and go to Learn tab, and there's going to be one for testing, right? It's kind of big maybe. Yeah, here we go. So Dojo has some helpers to basically test what does the widget look like. Does it look like you expect it to look? Has a functional test, which I will not be covering today, maybe another stream. Basically, that's not so much you're testing the individual widgets, you're testing the behavior of your pages, right? So you load the page, you navigate to some element on the page, maybe click it. Here's an example of what it looks like here. So you're going to go and click on the a button, and then maybe you expect something to change when that button's been clicked, right? So that's how you can do functional testing. It's really useful. It's cool. I dig it, right? But I'm just going to be covering the very basics of assertions and asserting, validating that your widget looks like you expect it to look. Now I'm going to do it without writing my widget first. So if you come to the test here, come to Unit, go to Widgets. There's a profile widget which basically just displays the username. So I figure why not have an avatar widget that's going to display the avatar for the user. So we'll close this up, give ourselves some more room, and it's lots of real estate we got going there. Okay, so let me make a new widget. Unit widgets avatar.tsx. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to bring in my testing helpers, which are going to be coming from intern. So Dojo uses intern under the hood. How does it get interface? BDD. There's also TDD. Here's another one, forget what. Basically, it uses an intern under the hood for its testing library, but I mean, they all look the same, right? So BDD has describe and it. Basically, you say that, I'll write this out right now. Describe, the avatar widget. That takes a function. And it should render correctly. right? I have seen people say before that maybe, don't write it should do something, but it will render correctly. You're gonna will that damn code to do what you want it to do. I think it's just more of a TDD philosophical thing, which I'm not going to get into. Not my bag of tricks, man. So okay, so that's just what the test itself is going to look like. So we need a couple more things since we are going to be writing TSX. Yeah, TSX in here. It's TypeScript. We need to bring in the helper from Dojo to write TSX, which is going to be coming from framework core VDOM. So lost. That's what I was looking for. Okay, sorry. TSX. All right. Yeah, I know it's not being used. It's not going to get used. I hope it figures it out. Okay, so next thing I need is the renderer. So this is going to be the helpers from the Dojo testing utilities to do everything you want to do. We want to bring in assertion from Dojo framework / testing / why isn't it picking it up? Assertions, right? Oh no, sorry, renderer, not assertions. I was like, wait, why isn't it picking it up? No, from the renderer. Because as every damn stream I do that. I point at the screen, but you can't see the point screen. I was looking at, I saw render here. I remember to have pull from render, the default, right? Okay. Sorry. Okay, so right now I don't have a widget, but let me just kind of, I don't know, think through what this widget might or it will look like. All right, so I don't know what avatars should be wrapped in terms of when you're writing semantic HTML. I don't think it's a section. So I'm just going to go with a div. And just so it's not an image, let's go ahead and also display some info. I guess the name, maybe. This could be go in the profile. In addition to that profile widget, instead of just having the text for the name, we can put the name. So it's going to be, stranger. Danger. No. Okay, so it's going to be wrapped in a paragraph, because then the next line is just going to be an image with a source that's going to be, something. I don't really care too much right now. I think I gotta do it like that. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, and that's because I want to get a little. Let's just make it. Add some things to it, some flair, right? A little horizontal rule there. So okay, so we have a div. It's going to look like paragraph, h3, horizontal rule, and an image inside it. Right? Okay, all right. That's cool. It's cool. So now what we want to do is that in order to define what it's going to look like, we need to have a base assertion defined, avatar assertion, if you want to call it. I just call it base assertion, but if you look at the doc, they will call them by the names of the widget. So like profile has a profile assertion and so on. That's probably better than doing what I'm doing here, but again, I don't have the widget yet, and it's a base. It's what I'm going to measure my results against, right? So we use the assertion here. This assertion is going to take a function, and that function is basically going to be what does the widget look like, right? Now, this is also going to include any, so if you have CSS defined, wait, hold on one second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I the only one that does that to counts in the Vim like that? So So you basically it would import the CSS as well, pass CSS to it, do all that cool stuff. You wouldn't write class equals and then the value of the CSS. This isn't the assertion isn't the what the hell did I undo? The assertion isn't the output HTML. The assertion is what does the actual VDOM stuff look like. So that's what I'm writing in here, right? And then my what I want to do is I want to render my widget, which I don't have yet, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and pretend I do. And it's going to be avatar. And it's going to, like, this is totally, Vim's going to complain like crazy. And then we want to do is do an R expect, right? That can assert. I expect that render widget is going to look like my base assertion. And like that. So that's what the test is going to look like. And of course it's going to fail. Everything's going to fail because I don't have a widget yet. So how do I do? I always forget. There we go. No. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and write my widget. So come over here. Source widgets. Okay, so source widgets avatar.tsx. Okay, so I don't have my Vim snippets in this machine because I've just been stupid lazy. But I do have a set of Vim snippets for Dojo widgets and stuff. So basically I want create and TSX. Alright. Now what I want to do, create my factory function is going to be equal to create, and then I want const avatar is going to be equal to the factory s6 function. And for Dojo, they really recommend that you name, and I've talked about this before, provide named functions in here. You don't have to. You could just have a fat arrow function in here if that's what you dig, you know what I'm saying? But you know, this does help with stack traces anyway. And then we're going to export the default avatar, not avatar. Okay. Now we can do. I'm going to go ahead and cheat because. All right, so I'm going to come over here. It's 5 spaces. Bam. Okay. So there's our widget, and it's exactly what I'm expecting in the test. So if I were to, I've got to import it because that was smaller. I don't know how to make Vim split windows slightly larger or less. Tmux would, but I don't. Yeah. Sorry, I'm on a rambling again. So it's import avatar from, and I'm gonna go up the tree. Source widgets avatar. Bam. Okay. Now I need to add it to my test. Let's go ahead and add. See, and if I were doing this as the spec, you know, alongside it, like I was telling you about, I don't think you have to do all this. I think the test command, Dojo test, would pick it up. Okay, so npm t to run the test. it's testing and test completed. I should have ran this beforehand so that we can see the test fail, but we'll do that now. So okay, that was pretty simple. We could, you know, we've got our. I can get rid of this now. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I forgot I did 5 lines to delete at once. Okay, so we've got our describe. We're running our test here. We have our base assertion, which is going to define what the widget is actually doing over here, right? And we're also going to render the widgets. What this render is doing is basically what the app does to render your widgets, except it's a test helper. So you can has a function called expect. You say I expect this rendered widget to look like this base assertion up here, right? Very straightforward, fairly easy to do. But now, let's say we expect this thing to take a value, right? And I want to pass the name to this thing. Yeah. Name is going to be equal to Post Malone. That dude's everywhere, right? So, okay. Come up here. I mean, it's not really the TDD happening here because the TypeScript compiler isn't even going to let me get so far to compile the test, right? So I run, what's going on here? I run the test, it tries to compile, and it's gonna error out. I mean, testing failed, but it didn't fail necessarily because something wrong with the test, like wrong values. It failed because it can't compile. If we look at the line up here, type name string is not assignable to widget properties, blah blah blah. The typings don't match, right? So that's what really happened. So we're going to go up here to error. Yeah, right. So, but the testing framework catches that, and it tells you too. It's going to flip a table that says unable to compile TypeScript. So I know there's a TypeScript error, and it doesn't necessarily mean that my code's bad. So I fixed the TypeScript stuff, and now I can get back to fixing the code, which is good because it's going to warn me in my IDE too that I did something I shouldn't be doing. I don't even have to get so far as a test, right? So, yay TypeScript. Don't give me a hard time, people. You know you love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this take properties now, right? So this is the test-driven part. I wrote a test for it. I know what I expect. It doesn't work, so I need to make the widget do what I want it to do. So I'm going to add my properties. I'm going to type my properties. It takes a name, and that's going to be a string, and do it like that. Okay. So now when I let the widget factory know that I expect that there are going to be properties passed, I get a properties helper in the widget, and I can just say const is equal to properties, do a little destructuring here. And I talked about that before. The properties is a function so that your value is the latest value, because during the application rendering lifecycle of the VDOM, that value, you want that to always be current. You don't want an old value. And if it wasn't the function, it was just a property on a property, a value on a property, then it might not be the latest and greatest, depending how things are running. So instead of just hard coding stranger in here, I'm going to go ahead and pass name. Let's do this too. So we're going to say this is going to point to images slash. Oh no, I'm going to do it like this. I was trying to figure out how this is supposed to work. It has to be an object because I'm going to do string literals here. So okay, so it's going to point to images and then $sign name dot jpg. Let's go and update this to match that. Actually, no, we won't. We're gonna let it fail. This happens. Okay, so let's save that. That TypeScript error should go away. Go away. So I gotta go to that window. Save it again. No? I don't know. I think my vim is just outdated. Alright, let's run the test again. Now this time it shouldn't be a TypeScript compile error. It should be a different error. Alright, so alright, so tested one platform, 5 passed, 1 failed. So what happened with the one that failed? So it gives you back the widget error. Alright. Right here. So this is what you got, but this is what you were expecting. So I don't know what the A means. E, I don't know, E, A. I was just say expecting. I think this is what I said I'm expecting. Is this what I was asserting? I don't know what the A means there. But anyway, so I was expecting this, but I got this. That's pretty much what it's telling you. So now we need to update our test. And the test needs to, this is going to be images slash post Malone dot JPEG. And yeah, you probably saw my kid's head bobbing around over there. He's coloring behind me. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, not that. Okay. Now we run test again. Oh, that's not even a command. There we go. Running our test, and everything passed. And we just, okay, so there we go. We just wrote a widget with test-driven development from scratch. Doing it the right way, writing the test first, although the whole image sourcing I kind of did in the widget myself. I should have done the test first. So I write the test first, and then you fix the widget. So was it red, green, pass? I don't forget how that's supposed to go. Your test should fail, then you make it work, and then you add features, and it fails, you make it work, and so on and so forth till it's done. As you can see, we haven't even opened the browser to see what this would look like in the app yet. I don't necessarily right now care what it looks like. I just care that I'm getting the structure out and everything. Then I'll come in with some CSS later on and update it and make it pretty. And then as I decide I want to add features to it, I decide to write tests for those features first, and then I can go ahead and update my widget to reflect what the tests are expecting to happen. That's how it should work. But you know, things happen. Deadlines, you're working fast, idea comes to your head. I gotta respect people that are really disciplined with the TDD or the BDD in this case, the test-driven development, and writing their tests first, writing all their features, test for their features ahead of time. You know, I mean, I think it takes some really solid discipline to do it. It's a great habit. I want to pick up that habit more for apps from scratch that I do and stuff. So I'm going to work on it. I used to do it a lot more, especially with Flash and everything, and Java and some .NET and everything back in the day. But I definitely did not do enough today. But there you go. I'll get into more testing stuff later on. I don't write very many functional tests, so I got to learn how to do that first. But how you can test click events and things like that, how you can mock. And the Dojo testing framework, intern, everything doesn't come with a mocking library, right? You use Synon to do your mocking. So I'm sure plenty of people have used Synon to do mocking before. That's one thing I do like. No, like I said, I've used Jest, and I think Jest is really cool. I just find when I use Jest, I'm writing a lot of mock code, mock files, and mock folders, and I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather just use Synon to do stubs and get it done, right? But they all work. They're all kind of cool, and I like the direction that Dojo's taking here with these assertions. I think they're very useful. There's another thing you can do too, where you can wrap your assertions in these. It's a wrap helper, and they're where you can wrap these nodes, and then you can modify properties to them to say that you're like in this one here, I'd wrap it, and then I would find the H3, and I'd change the inner text if I want to do 2 tests in a row, where I'm changing the property. I still use my base assertion, but then I can extend my base assertion to do some stuff, right? So, well, not quite that way, but we'll cover that too at some point down the road. But I just want to get your feet wet with some TDD with Dojo and Dojo testing, and just point out that you probably should be writing tests for your code. So, all right, folks, have a good one. I'm gonna go play some games. Late.